Hello and welcome to Rules and Rulings, helping you to be judge, jury, but hopefully not executioner of your 5e D&D game. Today we're covering an element of the game that occasionally comes up when your players want to make a bang. Explosives. Your party has made their way onto an enemy ship. They secured their target and they're on their way out. Suddenly the wizard player asks, "Can I set fire to the gunpowder barrels?" That sounds awesome, but you're stuck trying to figure out what happens in the moment. The Dungeon Master's Guide gives us a good starting point for how to rule explosions by including explosives in the possible equipment we can give players. Gunpowder can be prepared into a bomb, which explodes with a 5-foot radius, dealing 3d6 fire damage if a DC 12 dex save is failed. A bomb can be lit and thrown with the same action. Containers full of gunpowder can also be detonated if set on fire. Gunpowder detonated in this way has an explosive radius of 10 feet, and the save is instead for half damage. A horn of gunpowder deals 3d6 fire damage and a small keg 7d6. Gunpowder can also be ignited to provide a momentary flare of light. It looks like you pay a steep price for convenience there. The powder horns double the range, save for half, and costs about a quarter the price of a bomb. So however you go about improvising your explosives, it's worth keeping in mind that the ability to use the explosive as a grenade is given a lot of weight. The Dungeon Master's Guide also has rules for dynamite, which can be combined and detonated as one bundle, increasing the damage and explosive range, up to a maximum of 10d6 and 20 feet. Notably, dynamite deals bludgeoning damage. 10d6 damage in a 20-foot radius is the equivalent of a 5th level fireball, which gives us another place we can look for inspiration for explosives. Glyph of Warden does similar damage in the same range, so we can safely say that a 3rd level spell slot and a couple hundred gold is a reasonable cost for this kind of explosion. Another place we can look for guidance is the trap section of the basic rules. If they've not been weaponized into a grenade form, most explosives are dangerous items located in the environment. Whether it's a barrel of mixed munitions or an overloading magical device, traps seem like a good comparison. This gives us a pair of tables with suggestions of how hard the saving throws are and how much damage should be done depending on how much it would affect the players. We can combine this with our guidelines based on dynamite and gunpowder to come up with something that seems fair. There is the matter of damage types. Fire damage is an obvious choice, but dynamite deals bludgeoning damage, which is intended to reflect non-magical concussive force. Depending on the source of the explosion, any damage type might be suitable, including piercing for shrapnel and force damage for magical explosions. We could take a look at the rules surrounding siege effects and how fire spreads, but when it comes to explosions, I think it's fair to say that most players would prefer the cinematic approach. Decide how much the explosion affects the environment based on the size of the explosion and how much damage it deals. So that's a look at explosives. More things to draw inspiration from than you might think, but generally the rules seem to be fairly settled around a handful of dice creating an explosion somewhere between 5 and 20 foot in radius. Tell me about the explosions in your game. Do you use dynamite to open a door? Did you detonate the BBEG's doomsday device? I look forward to reading your stories, and I'll see you next time.